Jumbo Shalom Tribe, hope all is well. Today I'm going to bring my top 10 best graphical games on the Xbox 360. Now, these are my choices and my selection, just my opinion. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get it started. Number 10 is LA Noire. Now, I like this game because to me, it reinvented facial animations. And that's key in a game like this because you could tell if people are lying with the smirks that they're doing or if they truly don't really know what's going on within the crimes. So you do play a detective in this game slash, police officer, whatever type of law enforcement he's playing throughout the game. This game may have not invented the facial animations, but to me, it was a revolutionary game with the facial animations, and I felt like this was the beginning of where facial animations could go and where it was about to go. This is where it started. And it's fun. The world is fairly busy, so it's a lot of stuff to do. It's not Grand Theft Auto, but the story is fun, it's riveting, and I think a lot of people should check this out. The graphics on it was pretty good for its time. They still hold up to this day. The 360 has a lot of great titles. Hope you guys are geared into it. LA Noire. Number 9 is Gears of War Judgment. And I think we can all agree that the Gears of War franchise has always had pretty beautiful graphics. I mean, I think it was one of the big titles of the 360 console. It's about basically just a war between gears and alien monsters, basically, your typical alien war storyline, if you will. And it's a lot of guns, a lot of ammunition. Can't forget about the chainsaw gun. This game is fun and it looks beautiful too. I think the graphics still hold up to this day for the 360. And the characters are decent too. They're not all boring and bland. There are some characters that have a outright, energetic personality, and then the main character has that laid back personality. Gears of War Judgment. All of them are good though. And number 8 is Mass Effect 2. Now, this is another one just like Gears. They have great graphics on each game. Each game to me displayed a level of graphics that pushed the 360's hardware to its limits, right? The reason why I picked Mass Effect 2 over the other ones because of the storyline is practically like the game of its time, right? This is one of the best games that I've ever played on the 360. The characters are all different. The galaxies, the worlds that you go to are very lived in. It's a lot of things you could do. You can also customize your character as well. So I had to make a melanated character. You can have relationships in this game. I believe same-sex relationships. You have friendships. You have missions that test your loyalty with your crewmates. This game is excellent. It's brilliant. The graphics, like I said, they hold up to this day. They're very beautiful. The facial animations remind me of that of LA Noire because you can see the expressions in a lot of the characters' faces. And they all have personalities too. Some of them do. A lot of them are pretty low-key, laid back, but some of them are interesting. Mass Effect 2, check that one out. Number 7 is GTA 5. Hey, do I have to say anything about it, or it's one of the highest selling games in the world, I believe. Goodness gracious. Now this game is fun. It, to me, is not San Andreas, but graphically, of course, I believe this is like the best looking GTA game out there. It's loaded with a bunch of things to do. I myself like robbing banks. I'm sorry. If there's any kids watching, do not steal. That's very, very, very bad. So is drinking and drugs. Don't do that, kids. But this game is excellent. I mean, there's nothing really I could say bad about it. GTA 5, very great game. Graphics, amazing. Fun. Number 6, Dead or Alive 5. Last round, I believe. Last round. Man, the whole Dead or Alive franchise has been massively underrated. I mean, it gets overshadowed by Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, but this game, graphically, has always been impressive. I remember playing it on the Dreamcast. And I know this game is known for, the women with the very, very bouncy boobies and all that, the sexual allure of the game. But as a teenager, that drew me in, and it was part of the appeal. But I stayed for the actual fight, the fighting. The mechanics of this fighting game is incredible, in my opinion, because you can't just button mash. You kind of had to time the counters and the blocks and then know when to attack at certain times in this game. It's very hard too to know when a person is gonna punch you or kick, and are they gonna kick low or are they gonna kick high? It's a very fun, decent fighting game. I wish it was ranked a little bit higher, and the graphics always look beautiful. You could tell by the screen. This is Dead or Alive 5. Check this one out, 360. Number 5 is Resident Evil 6. This is graphically one of the most impressive Resident Evil games. I mean, next to Resident Evil Revelations and Revelations 2, to me, they all stand in the same boat. They delivered a very, very horrifying experience with a lot of these games. I know Resident Evil 6, a lot of people say it's probably not that scary or as scary as past Resident Evils, but it does have its scares. I know it's a lot of action based, and anybody that's a Resident Evil fan will say that 6 is probably the least scariest, but graphically, it looks good. You couldn't even tell that this is an older 360 game. This is very nice graphically. The story, it's alright. It didn't really make any sense. I'm not going to advocate for the story on this. If you pick this up, the story is kind of confusing. It's weird. So I won't explain the story too much. It's about a virus. But, look. It's co-op, it's a fun, action-packed game. Pick it up, Resident Evil 6. Number 4 is Max Payne 3. It's one of my favorites. I've always been a fan of Max Payne. I remember when my mom bought me the first Max Payne for the original Xbox. I was in high school, and I fell in love with it ever since. I believe this is the first series to introduce bullet time, I believe. And I just have the ball with this game. The storyline is off the chain. There's so many twists to the storyline in this game. The gameplay and the graphics are amazing. It's incredible. If you're into guns, shooters, this is definitely a game that you definitely should pick up on the Xbox 360. You basically have a retired, pill-popping alcoholic cop who shoots stuff up. I mean, what's not to like about the game? He does a lot of missions that involve killing people, shooting them, and a lot of slow motion, a lot of ammo, a lot of guns, a lot of Hennessy, whiskey, whatever. Max Payne 3. Number 3 is Final Fantasy 13. Now, this one is a looker. Just visually, I was at awe of the graphics of this game. It looks so beautiful. The characters look so detailed. One of the most popping things in this game is the background visuals. It's just breathtaking. Honestly, it's one of the most vibrant, radiant games that I've seen on the Xbox 360. The story, it's tough to get into it because it's a lot of talking and it's very slow. It's one of those slow RPG games. If you're not into magic and fairies and all that type of stuff, you might not like this. But if you're into role-playing games, which I mentioned before on the Super Nintendo one I did, my countdown, or my faves, you're gonna like this. The story, like I said, takes some time. The characters, well, the characters are that of a RPG, of a JRPG. Final Fantasy 13. Number 2 is Ninja Gaiden 2. Now I chose Ninja Gaiden 2 over 3 because 3, to me, the graphics were slightly better, but not that much better than Ninja Gaiden 2. Ninja Gaiden 2's story, to me, was a little bit more verse than Part 3, or even 1. And the graphics are graphic, as you can see on the screen. You can see legs popping off, you can see arms popping off, heads popping off. This is one of the best games that I've seen visually on the Xbox 360. It's very fun. It's extremely hard though. This is not a game you could pick up and think that you could just plow your way through it. This game takes super major skill. Anybody that beats any Ninja Gaiden game in life, you're victorious, man. You're a winner in my book. Ninja Gaiden 2. Also, I'm gonna add that they made harder versions of this game, which I have no reason why they made this game harder than it already is. It's already extremely hard. I don't get it, but yeah, they do have harder versions of these games. I really hate to interrupt your video watching, but please don't forget to check out Big Judo's. We sell used and new merchandise. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now back to your video. Thank you. What's number 1? Tomb Raider 2013. Now this to me is the best game graphically, best graphics, everything possible that the Xbox 360 has to offer. This is just my opinion. I don't know, some of y'all might disagree, but I feel like they came back and gave Lara Croft a whole makeover. She isn't, what is it, objectified, as you will, versus in the past, they had the gratuitous shots of her behind and boobies and very, very seductive sounds she would make, I would say. But as a teen, when you played the first one on the PlayStation, the graphics wasn't anything, right? They were horrific. They were horrible. But this one, they rebooted it. They brought it back with style. This is just my opinion. Like I said, all of these are my opinion. So she starts out as just a regular normal girl, I guess, in the game, with no training of any sorts, and then all of a sudden she gains hunting abilities. She's good with a gun, and it's very survival like. That's what I like about this game. There's nothing really I can say bad about it. I don't want to spoil it, but make sure you pick it up. It's Tomb Raider 2013. These are my top 10 best Xbox 360 games with the best graphics. Hope you liked. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below what's your favorite game on the 360. Shalom. Be safe.